My name is Pastor Hal York, and welcome to Truth in the Trenches. Today we're going to be in Proverbs chapter 13, verse 4. The soul of the sluggard craves and gets nothing, while the soul of the diligent is richly supplied. We've met this guy before. It's called the sluggard. He's called lazy, sloth. It's a subject that comes up often in the book of Proverbs because one of the marks of a fool is laziness or slothfulness. And we've lost our work ethic today in our country. Our expectations are totally out of whack. We're paying people for doing nothing and wonder why people are so discouraged and distressed and suffering from so many emotional issues that come with being slothful and lazy. It's a good study for you to do on your own, but let me give you a couple references to show what Proverbs says about the sluggard, and we get a glimpse into his personality and how he thinks. Proverbs 20, verse 4 says, "The sluggard does not plow in the autumn. He will seek at harvest and have nothing." Talk about unrealistic expectations. If you don't plant, you don't sow. And plowing is hard work. And if you don't do the hard work, you don't reap the benefits down the road. But somehow, by some magic or unknown force, the sluggard thinks he will. You could call that the delusion of entitlement. One college professor wrote, even in college, many students expect to be given A's for inhaling and exhaling, and look at you like you have four heads if you suggest that perhaps coming to class and doing homework and studying might improve your grades. Our pride and overexalted self-image has made us lazy. Martha Peace has said that lazy people are often busy, but they are not busy doing the work that God has given them to do. They are incredibly self-indulgent. Alexander Maclaren, a 19th century Scottish preacher, says this about procrastination: "No unwelcome task becomes any less unwelcome by putting them off until tomorrow. It is only when they are behind us and done that we begin to find that there is a sweetness to be tasted afterwards, and that the remembrance of unwelcome duties unhesitatingly done is welcome and pleasant." The sluggard never learns this. He never knows the joy of a hard job done well. In Proverbs 26:14 it says, "As the door turns on his hinges, so does a sluggard on his bed." And that's not a hard word picture to get in our minds. We can just picture it quite easily. Alan Redpath says he used to talk to young people about the vital importance of what he called blanket victory. He was referring not to some strategy for overall success, but to the necessity of getting out of bed at a reasonable time in the morning to pursue the business of the day. If a young person could not get victory over his blankets, it was unlikely that he would be self-controlled in many other areas. Then one other verse is very familiar. In Proverbs 22:13, the sluggard says, "There's a lion outside, I shall be killed in the streets." We see that a couple times in Proverbs. But the sluggard is some of the greatest excuses you will ever hear. Great sounding to him, but no one else. Our verse for today says, "The soul of the sluggard craves and gets nothing, while the soul of the diligent is richly supplied." Bruce Waltke writes, "The appetite keeps normal people alive by driving them to work to satisfy it. But it kills the sluggard because his hands refuse to satisfy it. His unfulfilled craving kills him both by starvation and frustration." The life of the sluggard is a very frustrated life. 2 Thessalonians gives us a verse we don't hear much about anymore today. But Paul, writing to this church, says, "For even when we were with you, we would give you this command: if anyone is not willing to work, let him not eat. For we hear that some among you walk in idleness, not busy at work, but busybodies. Now such persons we command and encourage in the Lord Jesus Christ to do their work quietly and to earn their own living." You can call it slothfulness, laziness, or idleness, or being a sluggard. But they all lead to the same place: hunger, being a busybody, meddlers, people who really have no purpose and understanding of what their life is about and find no satisfaction in the joy of a job well done. But God expects us to work, to do their work quietly and to earn their own living. That's what he wants for us. And we need to teach this to our children, model it before them, the joy of work. God created us to work. Sin has made it harder and frustrating, but God blesses those who work. The inner man is built up It's encouraged by work. So never forget that. Model that to your families, to your children. Work is good and pleasing to God when done for His glory and for the good of others. The soul of the sluggard craves and gets nothing, but the soul of the diligent is richly supplied. What a great verse. May this truth guide us and guard us as we live in the trenches of life, to the glory of God and the good of others. God bless.